They can be isolationist as long as they want, but when there's global warming, when there's diseases that are killing many people, those scientific advancements, especially if they spur advancements in other places, could really benefit not only the Wakanda itself, but the rest of the world.
And also, I'm curious about if you have any thoughts on, what's the best model for this? It seems like, these outreach centers, it almost did seem like sort of embassies. Like I'm curious about whether he's planning to share this knowledge government to government, or like, do you think there's a better way of doing this? Like, I mean, we see that with some other either rich or powerful individuals, they've set up, like the Clinton Foundation or the Gates Foundation. Is that a better model for him to use? Should there be a T'Challa Foundation?
I think the best model I can think of is the university system. So you have the United States has universities like that are partner institutions in many countries. So you have researchers that go back and forth. You have students that study abroad. And in addition to providing the general scientific outreach, you also have exchange of people, exchange of cultures. And that's really important to building these long-term relationships. And I think that's what's really made the world more united recently, is that it's become so easy to study abroad and go in different places. And I think if they keep up this model of exchanging both science and culture, that will be the best model.
Yeah, I agree. And the university model prevents governments from sort of capturing a lot of the benefits that would otherwise be given to the people. So if we think about foreign aid and the way that foreign aid is spent in foreign countries, is it the selectorate model from AP1, where a lot of governments leech foreign aid to enrich themselves, or at least the upper class, the ruling class, and the aid never actually reaches the people. I think that a university system might work better than the selectorate model in terms of actually providing these gains without it being without you having this capture by governmental forces.
And the other thing is the universities, and like University of Chicago, we take pride in our commitment to freedom of speech and freedom of exchange of ideas. And the risk with governments is that they can suppress ideas that are contrary to their own goals, even if those ideas might be beneficial to the rest of the world.
But one question is, you were talking about capture of technology or aid by kind of the elite, but on top of that, isn't there also just a risk that not only is there going to be capture, but also adaptation of this Wakandan technology into weapons? I mean, I think the idea is that instead of providing weapons to other countries, T'Challa is trying to share the more kind of beneficial technology or science, for health reasons or otherwise. But can't they just take kind of whatever power or science or technology underlies those innovations and try to subvert it for destructive purposes?
Sure, and that may be why the kings of the past told T'Challa that he should not open up the borders and engage with the rest of the world. But I think that the lessons taken from Killmonger is that things aren't going so hot even right now. So maybe if we can share some of our wisdom and technology and education, that they can improve. We don't talk about we talk about lack of education in third world countries or with being provided to women, but we never say, well, what if when women are allowed to go to school, they'll, come back and start hurting us, the men. And we understand that women are wiser, and so they won't they'll hopefully spare us. But two, that it's nobody benefits from a lack of education and knowledge. We all suffer the consequences when people are left out of the pie.
So I'll just end with this philosophical question then. Is this decision by T'Challa to share Wakandan science and technology, is this opening Pandora's box? Is it a bad idea? Or do you think that it, like Aamir was saying earlier, that it's kind of their obligation to share beneficial technology with the rest of the world?
So using the Pandora's box analogy, you don't really know what's going to come out of it. So you open this box in the hopes that things are going to get better. It could have released a lot of bad things, but if you remember from the myth, the one thing that this positive release from Pandora's box is hope. So we hope that the science that we share with the rest of the world is going to benefit everybody. And you can't really control how people use it, but you just hope for the best.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that you kind of just have to leave it up to people. And, Wakanda is kind of a ideal meritocracy because anybody can challenge the king at any point in time. All you got to do is best him in Mortal Kombat for whatever reason. But I think that what's provided there is an opportunity to try. And so when you take away people's opportunity and you don't give them the opportunity, then there's really no hope. So that's all T'Challa's trying to provide is that opportunity to challenge your authority.
Well, thank you both for leaving us with that positive message.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Oh, fun fact: Black Panther was the first Black Panther comic book was written before the founding of the Black Panthers in Oakland by Bobby Seale. So for those of you out there who think that Black Panther is actually taken from the political movement, then they were actually both created in 1966, but Black Panther the comic book was written in July of that year, and the political movement was founded in October of July 1966. So fun
Cool.
fact.
The more you know.
Thanks for listening to our first episode of Popcorn Policy. Thanks to Julian Lake and Aamir Hussain for sitting on this week's panel, and Jason Zukus for hosting this week's episode. Thanks to Coco Yim for engineering, and this episode was edited and produced by yours truly, Stormy Kim. Here's how you can get involved with our next episode as an expert guest on our panel. Hit us up on Twitter at _UC3P with a movie and relevant policy topics you'd like to talk about. That's all for now. Till next month, stay poppin'.